This is a short story that I wrote called Divine Identity. It's a spiritual drama set in World War II involving angels. The day is May 21st, 1941. A young woman named Abby walks alone along the streets of London during the Blitz. She looks upon the carnage of things and lives being destroyed. She wonders why this is all happening and why God is even allowing it. She stops at the sight of a building that is being bombed as it crumbles to the ground, with people dying inside. Tears drip down her face, and she prays for God's guidance. She says, "I don't know, God, if you're even real. I don't know what to pray for, or how I can even put it into words, or even thoughts. All I know is that I am alone, with no family, no friends, no home, or anything to lose with all the losses that everyone around me is now suffering. Yet I am feeling loss with every sight, sound, and thought. These feelings are so abundant that it hurts too much to feel anything else. Please, God, help me. Please tell me what I can do to make it all better." Abby waits for a moment, and seemingly there is no answer. Then, doubting that there will even be one, she continues to walk the streets. And as she walks down one street, she begins to notice people who seem to notice her. She is curious as to why their clothing and their behavior clash with all that is happening where she is. At first, she is intimidated by these people. She pretends to not be interested in them, and she continues walking. The more streets she walks along, the more of these suspicious people appear and seem to notice her. She begins to dread that the chaos is driving her mad. She struggles to maintain herself and continues walking. But now the suspicious people are doing more than noticing her. They are now beginning to surround her. She becomes afraid and freezes. She shivers as she slowly turns to gaze upon them as they all stand around her. Then it suddenly occurs to her that the sounds of all the chaos have suddenly been replaced by silence. She looks at the city and sees that everything now seems suspended in time. She is now terrified and is still frozen. "What do you all want?" Abby asks. One of them, a woman who is apparently Abby's age, approaches her, and the expression on her face is one of kindness. The woman replies, "We are here, Abby, to answer your prayer. The one you made just before we began to appear to you. Do you remember, Abby?" Abby is confused. "How do you know my name?" The woman replies, "We have always known your name. Don't you remember mine? It's Lisa." Abby is disturbed. "I'm sorry, but I don't remember you." Lisa replies, "We understood that when you said in your prayer that you don't even know if God is real, and yet you still pray to him." "God?" Abby replies. "Do you mean that you are..." Abby is suddenly humbled by what her intuition tells her. You're angels? Lisa's smile and affirmation causes Abby's mind to feel light and flood with much uncertainty as to what to say. Don't be afraid, Abby, Lisa replies. Am I going to die? Abby asks. Think of it more as a rebirth, Lisa replies. Please, said Abby. I don't understand. In your prayer, Lisa replied, you said you had no family, no friends, no home, or anything else. Why is that, Abby? Abby is unable to answer. And yet in that moment, she realizes why. I can't remember my family. More realizations are now overwhelming her. All I remember is walking down these streets. Lisa replies, Now, Abby, can you remember? Just give yourself a chance. Please, says Abby. Who am I? What am I? Lisa reaches out and takes Abby's hand and says, We are your family. Abby's mind and heart pulse as her memories suddenly flow back to her. Before her recollection of walking the streets and praying to God, she was walking with all these people who surround her now. More than that, she was and is one of them. She was dressed as they are. She behaved as they do. She remembers, finally, who and what she is. Abby is an angel. She and all her fellow angels were walking the streets during the Blitz, seeking out those to whom they could give guidance. She lost her faith as the horrors of the Blitz mounted. The despair over the destruction became too great for her and caused her amnesia. But now, she remembers. She gently drops to her knees in tears. Lisa kneels beside her and comforts her. All the angels approach and comfort her too. I'm sorry, says Abby. I am so sorry for forgetting myself. And now, replies Lisa, you remember yourself. You remember now that there is always a path back to the light, and that no one is ever forsaken. Abby raises her face and looks upon Lisa and all the angels, and says, Yes. You remember, replies Lisa, that you can always make the world better by having love in your heart. Yes, says Abby. I remember because the love in my heart brought me back to all of you. Lisa caresses Abby's face and asks, Are you ready? Abby rises and smiles at Lisa and all the angels. Yes, I am. The date is May 21st, 1941. A young man named Matt walks alone along the streets of London during the Blitz. He looks upon the carnage of things and lives being destroyed, including his loved ones. He wonders why this is all happening and why God is allowing it. He stops at where the building he once worked in is reduced to rubble. He drops to his knees, tears dripping down his face, and shouts out to the sky, "Why, God? Why is all of this happening?" He then senses a presence close by. He looks up and sees a young woman whose clothing curiously clashes with all that is happening where he is. She is looking at him with a comforting look on her face. He is in awe of her. She approaches him and reveals herself. She is Abby. "Hello, Matt," says Abby. "Who are you?" asks Matt. "My name is Abby." Matt replies, "How do you know my name?" Abby replies, "I came because you asked God a question, and to give you an answer. God is not allowing this, and He is giving you a way to change it." Abby smiles and caresses Matt's face and says, "You can always make the world better by having love in your heart." Matt is suddenly humbled and replies, "Are you an angel?" "Yes," replies Abby. Matt is overwhelmed by the power of love that Abby's touch sends through him. They embrace, and in that moment, the bomb attack suddenly and miraculously ends. The end.